Hello, my name is Andrew Champlin, and I am a dance artist based in Berlin from the United States. And I'm here to talk to you via camera to answer a couple of the questions that you posed for the Peers application. For me, I made a point in my life to go outside of familiar contexts. Um, I trained in ballet in New York City and then studied at a bachelor's program that looked at dance in the context of sociology. That's where I encountered performance studies and started working with techniques outside of the ballet canon. This type of transportation outside of familiarity has really been a productive destabilization of some of the biases and some of the um, more indoctrinating or orthodox communities of which I grew up. I started dancing when I was 4, so like language, um, there is a grammar to the way that I was trained to teach that was really mirroring a form of socialization. Um, and it's been really productive for me to go outside of this. I say this in order to introduce myself also as a researcher. So, after a career in contemporary performance, working as a dancer, and also expanding my practice to teach contemporary dancers, I went to a master's program at Stockholm University of the Arts, and I wanted to leave New York after 13 years in order to sort of gain a perspective on it, to understand what I was working with there from a further vantage point in order to get a broader picture. But in so doing, I've encountered so many really interesting international artists in Europe, and not just artists, but also structures, places where people practice, cultures that intersect with one another, points of views that um, are radically different from each other, and create an ecology that I think is really important. And that's what I like about how I understand myself now as a contemporary dance artist. So, returning to the question, I think the international network is going to be really helpful for me to understand with my PhD project who the audience is that I'm intending to work with, who I'm addressing, um, questions of how I orient the research, um, and also help searching for an appropriate context. I know that this is part of the program that you provide resources and support for people finding the appropriate context and conditions for the research. So I'm really hoping to find, um, that type of networking and that type of familiarizing with what is available. Um, and also to gain experience working with mentors. I've had a little bit of experience in an academic setting in my master's program, but also a really robust experience working with my mentor, Janet Panetta, which was not formalized by a structure, but more interpersonal and negotiated sort of firsthand. And so I'm really looking forward to working with the peers as well. This aspect is where I come in contact with contrasting aesthetic and ethical value systems. And these are going to be really important for my research in order to advance my practice and experience with multiple points of view and multivocality. Um, Also, very basic things like the facilities at your university, the possibility to use desks and computers, film equipment, or studios. Um, Also, I anticipate um, how I get a sort of higher level of precision to my PhD project. I'm curious how institutions can really support people who desire to get more technical, to become more aware of what else is possible if you go into the specific and depart from the general. So I think that's like the transition that I'm looking for in this intensive year. So it's really nice to have this program opportunity because it feels like a chance for me to um, initiate dialogues and also be a part of people's reflections, be a part of a year where people are working really hard and intensely toward something that they care about and that they think can produce a different ethos in the world and amount to structural changes in both academic research and aesthetic, creative points of view. So I'll finish here. Thank you so much.